Here is my code. Uh,
Okay.
it's a simple
See a
thing.
file message coming in, and when the
Mhm.
file processes correctly, it has to go through the validate node and then the compute node and finally to the output location. And if it
Yeah.
fails for some reason, it has to go through the exception and into a
Mhm.
queue.
Correct.
All right.
Here, if you know about anything on the validate node, is that
Hmm.
really help?
Not really. You are validating either a XML message, a JSON message, or some sort of a DFTL, right?
Exactly, because I'm getting the CSV on input and
Hmm.
I'm transforming here in a JSON and sending to that output. So do we need a validate node in between?
No, you
No.
have a CSV file, and that
Mm-hmm.
CSV can be validated using a DFTL,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be set on the file input node.
So what is the use of this validate node?
Click on that, validate. Yeah, you have used a DFTL, and there's a message model. Click on
Mm-hmm.
file input node. Click on input message parsing. So here also you have the same information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you are
Mm-hmm.
parsing it twice or
Mm-hmm.
validating it twice. That's not
Yes,
necessary.
not necessary, right? I just thought to check with you, these things. So we don't
In
need this.
situations where we create the message and we
Mm-hmm.
want to validate, for example, let's say that I'm creating a message in compute node,
Mm-hmm.
a new message from scratch, and I want to validate it. At that point, we will use a validate node.
So here also I'm doing a new means I'm getting a new message from scratch.
Not getting a message, creating a message. When you are
Oh,
creating a message, then you can use validate mode.
okay, got you, got you.
Hmm.
So
So let's go to the exception testing flow. You have a compute node. When an exception is generated, you can capture those properties and push that into a queue.
mhm.
So double click on that. Let's go into that node. Here we have, you are creating a JSON structure. You're calling, you're parsing the input exception tree and trying to get some fields out of it. All right.
Yeah, one question is that I'm getting, as I already told you, I'm getting a CSV. I'm transforming to JSON in the output. Okay.
Hmm.
So is it the correct way? If the if else condition, do we need this as we are getting JSON? If this is JSON, do we need to give a specific domain like
Now, this exception message that you write has no relation to the
mhm,
input message domain. CSV, XML, JSON, it's not like that. So,
not
for example, if you are exposing a REST API, you want
mhm,
your error details to go also as a JSON message, right? If your input is
mhm,
JSON, you want the error to go as a JSON to the person
mhm,
who is invoking your service.
mhm.
Okay. In this case, where you have input as a CSV, no one person is invoking your service. They're pushing a file onto some folder and they're
Mhm.
not waiting for a response. Okay.
Yep.
So
So
what they want, they might want an email alert saying this file has failed for so and so reason, or somebody, some administrator wants to look into a queue and see what was the reason for the error.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
in that case, uh, the message structure can be XML or JSON. It does not matter. You can create whatever. It only has to be visible and understandable by the support person.
got you. So we
Hmm.
don't need this if else then it is just checking the last child. So we don't need this, right?
Hmm, correct.
Okay, that's what I just commented. Uh, Apart
What
from
happens
this,
when you run this code?
it's not. I'm not getting the message which we need this timestamp, error code, and exception type, error message, error location. I'm getting the
Maybe
as
the exception list has not generated. Put a breakpoint on line number 9 and continue to execute the debug. Breakpoint on line number 9. If you double click on the left side of line number 9, the breakpoint has been enabled. Good.
Mhm.
Let's go to debug mode, press F8, debug perspective.
We can.
Second, go to the second
Yeah.
tab.
Yeah, I'm going here.
Then
So
click on the resume button. That is a green symbol.
yeah,
Continue. Press that again.
here we are getting the
Some error has occurred. Now look
Mhm.
at what the error exception list says.
It is the database error. I purposefully gave a wrong DSN name, and
All
that's
right.
why it is
Now we
getting the
want to
database.
capture this information into the queue to say
Exactly.
this database does not exist and it's not valid.
Yeah.
All right. Press the green button. Continue. Do that again. Now let's look at the exception list here. So in this, you have used the variable input exception list. Go
Mhm.
find that input exception list in the variables window.
Okay.
There is no input exception list, right?
Yeah. Only because yeah,
There is no
yeah.
input exception list and there is no output exception list. You have to use just exception list. Modify your code, deploy again and test. Line number 9.
Okay. Got you. That's it, right?
That's it.
Okay.
Stop the debug first and then deploy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
Otherwise, what will happen is this thread will be on hold status
Mhm.
and it will not allow you to deploy. When that pop-up comes, you can say yes, save my resources.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just learning.
All right. So it's deployed successfully. Debug
Mhm.
again.
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah. Resume.
Get the-
Continue. Press step over button, that is function button plus F6. Yes. Now look at the values that saved an error reference variable. In the variable window, go click on error reference. Do you see all the values that's of interest to you?
Yes, I see, but it is not populating to the queue. I somehow I don't know. So I'm doing some mistake.
No, we have modified the code right now. So let's see if it helps. So continue this, press F8. Yeah, that resume button. Now click on, where are you? Okay, I think it's gone to the queue. Let's go check that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's debug this once again and do it line by line in the eSQL. So press F8, resume. After you go into the debug module, debug perspective, resume. One more message now. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Resume. Now press F6, which is a step over. Right. Do that again. Again. Click on output root in the variables tab. Output root.
It's only properties, not populating.
Click on properties. It's okay. Now press F6, that is step over. Look at this. Expand output root once again. So there's something happening with your code such that it is not reflecting the changes that we are making. So build is not occurring automatically and it is just skipping over. Okay. So the code what we have written is not getting reflected. The same thing that I told you about the project build automatically. So what we'll do now is you cancel the debug. Let's go to the execution group. Okay, stop the debug in the execution group. Show me what it contains, the test. Expand. Delete this CDP test.
This is the application.
Yeah, delete it.
Okay.
Click on project once again. Search project run. Yeah. Clean this. Clean the project. Right. Click on OK. Now drag and drop CDP test. Yeah. Now go to generated files in project application development. So click on, for example, click on DFTL underscore CSV and scroll down. Scroll down after you click on any one project. Scroll down. At the end, you see something called as a independent resource. Click on that. In this, do you see something called a generated bar file after these SQL variables?
Yeah, generated
Open
bar
that
file.
and look for CDP test dot generated bar file. Click on that and say right click properties. What does the time say? Is it the time that's on your machine right now?
10:8.
Is it current time?
Yep, it's the current time.
All right. So this is the latest file that we have created. So copy that path, go to that path. No, that is C users. Satya, you have to copy that.
Okay, got it.
And you have to use File Explorer and go into that folder. Take away the last keyword. Do you have WinRAR on your machine?
I'm sorry.
Do you have an application called WinRAR?
Yeah,
If you don't
I do.
have, okay, then click More Applications and select WinRAR. If it's not visible here, click on Look for another application on this PC. Go to WinRAR. So scroll down and check if WinRAR is available in this folder. See program files. You're already in the proper folder. Just scroll down and check for that. WinRAR is not visible here. Go scroll down some more. Is this the end? Okay, no more scrolling. Go to C drive. Program files x86. The next folder. Look for WinRAR.
No.
It's not there. So let's forget about that and I'll give you another option. Click cancel. in File Explorer, paste that path once again and remove the last word, that is CDP testing. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
And let's go to that folder and rename the bar file as .zip file. The first, I think it's the third file from the top.
Yeah.
Rename this .zip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now open that file. Extract 7-zip. Extract. All right. We'll go into that CDP folder, the generated one, the first one. Rename that second file as .zip. Extract again. Go select where is that file? We don't see that subflow for some reason. So only the message flow is visible. Okay, let's go to the settings of your application. Go to Studio. Yeah. Now cancel this. Refresh your generated bar files folder. Right click on that folder and say refresh. After close project, refresh.
Oh yeah, got it.
Now drag and drop the project again into the execution group. CDP test. No. The project.
This
The
one,
one
sorry.
that you. No, not even that. Scroll up.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That thing. Correct. Drag and drop to the execution group. Scroll down to generated bar files. Scroll. You should see a new bar file over there. Double click on that bar file. The second file. The second file, yes. Bar file, double click. Now click on prepare. It's on the middle of your screen. Prepare. That file is selected. Okay. And what are the properties it has selected there? Wait, my screen is giving some issue. 1 minute.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Is remove contents. What's the second one? Read that for me. Remove contents on your right side of your screen.
Remove content of the archive before building. Override configurable property values.
Okay. Two things that are selected are proper. Now click on Manage tab. And expand the project. It shows a message flow and expand the message flow. All right. The changes that we were doing, go to that CDP flow, CDP MUL message flow. Yeah. Click on that. And this is what we were editing. Now click on the left side of your screen. There is something called as a link to source, an icon, yellow color in the application development. Click on that link to source. Now scroll to the top some more. I mean, in application development, use your mouse and scroll that slider I want to see what is the name of the project. It's CDP test.